More details on WWE's new era without Vince McMahon, an era that is being led by Paul Triple H Levesque. We've got backstage reactions to Stephanie McMahon and Bruce Pritchard appearing on camera this weekend at WrestleMania. The new era is also being led by WWE CEO Nick Khan, who also reportedly is looking to collaborate with other pro wrestling promotions around the world. John Cena discusses his WWE future after appearing at WrestleMania this weekend. Triple H heaps praise on Seth Rollins after dropping the World Heavyweight Championship yesterday to Drew McIntyre. Mick Foley also reveals that his final match that he was considering is off after consulting with some doctors. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about a new era in WWE being led by Paul Triple H Levesque, a new era that was seemingly ushered in officially over the weekend at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. If you couldn't tell, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful selecting a new report, there is a new era in WWE. The company hammered home this fact during WrestleMania 40. Now, those that Fightful spoke to confirm that this is a direct reference to the fact that not only is Vince McMahon gone from the company due to allegations of sex trafficking, harassment, and sexual assault, but also, this is also a direct reference to the fact that there is no pathway to Vince McMahon returning to WWE. Now, last week, Fightful reported of the optimism that existed within WWE around the first WrestleMania with truly no influence from Vince McMahon. Now, you could argue, well, hasn't he been absent for periods of time? Was there WWE without the influence of Vince McMahon? Well, partially yes and no, because from August until mid-December 2022, there was briefly a period where McMahon had stepped away when he retired, but obviously he forced his way back at the beginning of 2023, and for a good portion of that year, he was back to contributing remotely. As Vince McMahon is gone, many of his standards and rules are also out of the window. Ibo of Wrestle Purist said after WrestleMania, quote, spoke to someone from WWE who told me that the promotion is deliberately moving away from the terminology of sports entertainment, end quote. Now, Fightful say they've heard similar, though no specific edict has been handed down. However, one source said, quote, pro wrestling is no longer a dirty word. There are very few dirty words anymore, and the dirty words that do exist, people just seem to say even though we got memos telling us not to, end quote. Now, one of those dirty words is Vince McMahon, who is not to be referenced by name on WWE programming or featured in archived footage, if at all possible. Fightful have been told there is a concerted effort from WWE to disassociate with him as best as possible. But WWE, meanwhile, has no plans to disassociate with his daughter, Stephanie McMahon, however. She reappeared on WWE after leaving the company last year when Vince forced his way back in. She'd visited backstage at Survivor Series 2023, but hasn't had an official role in the company. However, she was welcomed backstage at WrestleMania with open arms and is well liked by many. Her promo was kept secret and was listed as a Triple H promo in the rundown for WrestleMania Sunday. Fightful say they asked sources in WWE if there was any hesitation to utilize Stephanie McMahon after being named as Corporate Officer number 3 in Janelle Grant's lawsuit against WWE. Those that Fightful spoke to said that they haven't personally heard of how Stephanie McMahon addressed the allegations that she knew Vince McMahon engaging in inappropriate sexual conduct. One source said that the situation had to be complicated, and certainly a complicated one for Stephanie, and they personally believed her appearance was her firmly picking a side publicly. TKO sources said that they are supporting Stephanie McMahon in this situation. Now, Fightful have not been told that Stephanie is back in any full-time capacity. A half dozen sources that Fightful spoke to universally claimed that they'd welcome her back. Fightful sources backstage say that Bruce Pritchard and Triple H were not expecting to be called out to the ring after Cody Rhodes' victory last night and subsequent in-ring promo, and say that's something that Vince McMahon would have been vehemently against doing if he indeed was in charge. Now, in regards from those that believe Bruce Pritchard had acted on behalf of Vince McMahon, or Nick Khan having knowledge of the sexual misconduct included in the lawsuit, Fightful say they were able to get somewhat of an answer. One longtime talent said that then when they expressed their concern about people with knowledge or aid in Vince in still being with the company, they were told, quote, nobody is indispensable as it relates to this, end quote. Specifically, they were pointed to the fact that not only have WWE survived without Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and later Kevin Dunn, of course for unrelated reasons, but that it thrived and did better than ever. The talent was told that Endeavor believes that anyone can be replaced in the event, even important figures need to be removed. Therefore, there is no reason to aid McMahon, and if it is found out that indeed they are helping him or they knew about the situation, then they will be let go by Endeavor. Now, last year's, of course, Raw after WrestleMania saw Vince McMahon turning into the proverbial Tasmanian devil, showing up, eating a script, and spitting out something completely new. Now, those that Fightful spoke to claim that last year's show would have been much better without his involvement, and they expect this year's show to be much more fun and to further prove a point that things are changing. Quote, the most successful periods of WWE were babyface periods where fans were passionate about talent and they were rewarded. And this weekend felt like that, said one producer. Now, WWE's in-truck production also got high marks and was said to be integral in furthering a new era of WWE. Of course, we get more details on what that really means. We've seen a lot of production changes with the exit of Kevin Dunn. They say that is critical to this new era of WWE as well. So what do you make of that? What do you make of this new era of WWE? Does it feel different? Were you comfortable with the sort of Vince washing of WWE over the last weekend and certainly the heavy praise towards Paul Levesque? Let me know your reaction to it in the comment section below. Now, Nick Khan, of course, as mentioned, has been incredibly instrumental in running WWE. It's really Paul Levesque and Nick Khan running the show now under the TKO umbrella. And a new report notes that WWE CEO Nick Khan is looking to explore potential collaborations with other promotions. Now, WWE has slowly been opening its own forbidden door of sorts recently, with Shayna Baszler and Charlie Dempsey appearing at the GCW Bloodsport event over WrestleMania week, as well as TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace appearing in the Royal Rumble match. The collaborations with other promotions is not something that would have happened in the Vince McMahon era of the company, and it's reportedly due to the work of Nick Khan. In a new report for Sports Illustrated, Khan, who was the man who gave Paul Levesque the green light to work with Scott D'Amore to organise Grace's Royal Rumble appearance, and he potentially is looking for other collaborations with promotions. The report reads, quote, speaking with numerous contacts surrounding Khan, one of WWE's potential explorations is to engineer a collaboration with other professional wrestling promotions. This is an area WWE rarely explored during McMahon's 4+ decades of leadership, so it represents a new realm for Khan to make a lasting impact. He was the one responsible for giving Levesque the green light to work with then TNA Wrestling President Scott D'Amore, which led to emerging star Jordynne Grace, who is the TNA Knockouts champion, making an appearance in the Women's Royal Rumble match this past January. Of course, Khan was present at the GCW Bloodsport show in Philadelphia, which featured the aforementioned Shayna Baszler and Charlie Dempsey. So, do you think we're going to see more of Nick Khan getting these relationships with other companies, and what do you think that will look like, and what do you think it will do for WWE in the long term? Let me know your thoughts about that as well. And when it comes to Nick Khan, he has also addressed the allegations against Vince McMahon, and also what it could have meant had these allegations come out prior to WWE securing this deal with Netflix to move Raw to the streaming giant next year. Now, for a very long time, Vince McMahon was undeniably the most powerful figure within WWE and throughout professional wrestling. The last several years, however, have seen McMahon's stake drop dramatically as allegations of sexual misconduct have emerged. As of January 2024, McMahon no longer has a role within WWE beyond that of a stockholder, something which is diminishing as McMahon continues to sell more stock in the company. This, of course, was just after it was announced that Raw would be headed to Netflix next year. Appearing on The Town, WWE CEO Nick Khan talked through Netflix's reaction to the McMahon story. When asked if the news emerging prior to the deal would have prevented the two sides from agreeing, Khan doubted that to be the case, but said he didn't think it would have helped. He said, quote, those allegations are obviously horrific and serious, Khan said. We take them and interpret them the same way I think every reasonable person or organization would take them, and you saw the quick resignation. decision. Khan then stated that Netflix did not tell WWE to remove McMahon and reaffirmed that McMahon's only involvement in WWE at this point is through owning shares. According to the CEO, the decision to resign as executive chairman came from McMahon himself. Now, allegations of sexual assault and sexual misconduct have followed McMahon for a long time, but the latest details to emerge in January seem to have done more damage to McMahon's reputation. There is an ongoing civil suit accusing McMahon, WWE, and former executive vice president of talent relations John Laurinaitis of sex trafficking, while McMahon is also reportedly the subject of an investigation by federal prosecutors as well. Now let's talk about John Cena, who made a surprise appearance last night at WrestleMania, and today he's given a bit of an update when it comes to his WWE future. Now, of course, as I mentioned, John Cena came out during the Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns bout to even the odds against Solo Sikoa before having a stare down with The Rock. Cena followed up his Mania appearance by popping on the Pat McAfee show today, where he commented on his future with WWE. He said, quote, "Last night wasn't my last night, so that doesn't mean this is my last uniform. That means I've speculated a lot about when it is that I hang up the jorts, and it wasn't last night. I've still got a bit of rubber left on the tires." Cena later added that he's locked up with commitments through Christmas, but then he's hoping to tell Hollywood to pump the brakes for a while and have one last run. He also said he believes Roman Reigns is the greatest of all time, but now Cody Rhodes has a chance of becoming just that. So what would you like to see John Cena do in one final run? Would you like him to go after a 17th World Heavyweight Championship? And how do you think John Cena's run should end, how his career should end in WWE? Let me know your predictions and how you would book that as well. Now, Triple H today has been full of praise for Seth Rollins after Rollins had a busy WrestleMania weekend. Now, last night's WrestleMania Sunday show kicked off with the World Heavyweight Championship match, which saw Seth Rollins take on Drew McIntyre for the title. McIntyre would emerge victorious in the match, crowning him the new World Heavyweight Champion, a reign which ultimately would only last for 5 minutes before Damian Priest cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase to become the new champion. Following the show, Triple H took to Twitter to heap praise on Rollins' work as the world champion after he was crowned as the inaugural champion back at Night of Champions in May of last year in Saudi Arabia. He wrote, quote, "How do you make steel and leather become a most sought-after possession? How do you get men to give their blood, sweat, and tears to attain it? How do you make it mean the absolute most? Seth freaking Rollins." Now, Rollins would return to the show in the main event, helping Cody Rhodes defeat Roman Reigns to finish his story and become the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. And finally, Mick Foley has actually now confirmed he will not be having one more match. This was something that Mick Foley had speculated on and maybe teased doing in the past. Now, WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley, age 58, has not wrestled since the 2012 Royal Rumble match. In February of this year, Foley said that he was thinking about doing one more match, as it would be a good incentive to lose weight. In March, Foley said that he should have an answer about the match by the beginning of 2025. However, in a new video on his YouTube channel, Mick Foley provided an update and revealed he was calling off the match after consulting with his doctors. Here's what he had to say.
Hey everyone, it's Mick Foley with an update on that final match that I was thinking about having for my 60th birthday. As some of you know, I had to miss a couple weekends of appearances because of dizziness and lightheadedness. After consulting a couple of doctors and also using my own experience with concussions, the symptoms, they seem to point to a concussion that I did not even know I received. I hadn't done too much in the ring, but I had done a little bit. I had noticed that I was lightheaded after one of the workouts, but I thought it would go away. So it just seems like the wisest move, and one that's strongly supported by my family, is to call off that final match. If I can get concussed from something I'm not even aware of, then some of the things that I was thinking of doing and hoping of doing in a big match would not be smart. So with my family's urging and after careful thought, I've decided there will be no final match. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I hope you have a nice day.
So that was the message from Mick Foley. Be sure to smash a like on the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.